Alrighty, I'm going to be showing you guys on how to remove or disassemble a PlayStation 3. This is the first time I've ever been into one. I'm actually watching a YouTube video on how to replace one of these, but I'm just going to make my own version. It's whatever. I might come up with a little bit of tips here and there for you guys. I don't know, just whatever. First, what you want to do is remove the hard drive. This cover will be in here like this, and there'll be a little tab right here. You just get your fingernail in there and pull it out, and this hard drive will be in here like so, and it actually pushes that away, and there'll be a bolt right here. There we go. There'll be a bolt right there, and it'll be, this blue one. Take that bolt out, you flip this little lever over, and you push it to the right, and then out. And then once the hard drive's removed, you want to move over here to the, well, where is it at now? Oh, it's right here. Move over here and remove the warranty sticker, and there'll be a little plastic little insert. You'll want to remove that. Here it is. Want to remove that, and then there'll be a little screw that goes in there, and it looks like this, like a star bit. And what you want to do is take a small flathead screwdriver like this and push really hard and then turn it out little by little. And then once you get that done, or if you have the special bit, you can go ahead and use that, but most people don't. Pretty much any kind of small eyeglass screwdriver set will work for eyeglasses. And then you just slide that cover, top cover, to the left, and it will pull up off in here. And then you're left with this, in which there are 7 screws all the way around, the ones that have an arrow on them. See an arrow there. And this one has an S and an arrow. The S means small. That is the only small screw you have. And it goes in the top right corner if you're looking at the front of it. And they'll be, all the way around here. You take them all out, and then you flip it around to the back, and there'll be a little tab. And that's pretty much the only thing holding you from getting this top cover off. So you push this tab in, and it pretty much, I gotta have really 2 hands, but I'll try to, there we go. And this whole top cover will just come right off. You see how all that's really dusty? That's that's pretty bad. And look at all that. I mean, wow. No wonder it failed. It's got the yellow light of death, and then after about 10 seconds of yellow light, it'll have the red light, the red blinking light. And I'm thinking, I haven't really looked it up yet, but I'm thinking it's probably an overheating issue. So, oh wow, this is just flopping around there. Not even being held down by nothing. That's the DVD drive, I think. Yeah. And just look how dusty that is. I'm going to have to take that outside to the air compressor and blow it out. No wonder what Wonder what the heat sinks look like actually. Just all over the place. Never seen one so dusty before. But anyway, I'll get back to you. And actually, you want to be really careful with these eject buttons. The little sticking tabs. See these? I'm sure they have some type of tab sticking up that actually touches these little points here. So if you screw them up, well, your touch buttons won't work. See how they bend down a little bit? Just try not to mess those up when you're lifting the top cover off, so you don't screw them up. And I'll get back to you in here in just a little bit, and I'll show you how to remove the rest of it to get to the heat sinks to replace the thermal paste. And what you want is some good old Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste. I wouldn't use nothing else, not unless you find something better than Arctic Silver, which I really haven't. This is pretty much the best stuff you can get. So, I'll get back to you in just a few seconds when I remove some of this other stuff. Alright, so I pretty much got everything disconnected. For the power supply over here, you have a bolt here, there. This is actually not a bolt for the power supply. So you got one, no, not one there. You got one there, and there. And then you got this little electrical connector that goes inside here. All you have to do is push on this tab and pull out. This little connection here actually goes into here. You just wiggle that out, pull it out. And this little connection here is actually kind of like a Wi-Fi plug for a computer or a laptop, and it plugs in right here, and you just pretty much just pull that right off in there. And when you go to remove the DVD drive, you just kind of slide it out just a little bit, and then you'll see that ribbon cable there, and you'll see that it has a little tab, a little locking tab. You get in the middle with your fingernail and pull that straight up, and then you can lift the DVD drive right up off in there. All it has is one ribbon cable, just that one. And you can set that to the side. And once you got the connections off here, the 2 screws, or the 3 screws out of the front, 2 screws in the back, and this electrical plug, push down on that tab, and the power supply will come right up off in there. And then you got this here, which is only held on what looks to be, this right here, the little optical sensor hooks in right here. There's another screw. Once you remove the DVD drive, you'll be able to see it, and it just pops right up off in there. You lay that to the side with all your other screws. And the power supply, lift it straight up. Don't cock it in any way, because these 2 little probes are right here, or prongs or whatever. And it looks like all I gotta do for these little guys is just wiggle and pop them off. And then you got another one of these little lock connectors. You want to be very gentle with these, especially the really long ones. Kind of get 2 fingers in here, one on each side, and just pop them up. But with smaller ones, you can just use 1 finger. Pop them up just like that, and then pull them out. And it's really, really dusty, so you might want to blow it out with an air compressor or something. Not sure what this is. Might be a Wi-Fi board or something. I'm not sure. Haven't really looked up much about it. Usually I do Xbox 360 repair, not, PlayStation. And yeah, that is your Wi-Fi. That's your looks like a Wi-Fi card right there. Maybe, maybe not. Wow, this little optical sensor is really dusty. That might be part of the problem, I'm not sure. But we'll take everything apart, clean it up real good. The heat sinks, I think, are right here. I'm not that far into the video yet. And I'll get back to you once I get everything done here. Alright, so I got the motherboard loose from the bottom part of the case here. And really all you have is just these screws here with the arrow pointing to them. And this one's a special one. And you'll see that some of them come with like really small screws, and this one's a machine screw. And that one might actually fit in there. I don't really remember. But just make sure you mark them. I got some green, well, where'd it go? A green Sharpie. I couldn't find my black one, but I marked it. Green, green, and then there's actually a longer one that's green as well. Well, I just marked it as green. Oh, this one here is actually the machine screw, the littler one. And then this one here is the longer one. And then you pretty much, just the rest of them are, they go in the plastic. They'll have the coarse thread. And then pretty much you want to pull from the opposite side of this electrical connector. Pull from this end up, and then you'll think that this piece, the whole metal piece, will just come up off in there without this plastic piece here, but it actually comes separate. Well, it's all one unit. It comes loose from this piece here, so just pull that whole thing just straight up. At first I had a kind of a problem with it, because I didn't know if this piece was supposed to be attached or left here. But pretty much all you have to do is just lift that piece up out of there as well. So yeah, and with these ribbon cables, I didn't take them out yet, but I will. And I also marked the orientation of where they're supposed to go. It won't really matter, but I did it just because. See how this one's routed? It's like pre-bent and like perfect already. And the same way with this one. It just helps when reassembling that you just mark them like I did. And then I did it over here. So a black Sharpie would do a lot better, but I can't find mine. But yeah, and I'll show you just here in a few seconds on how to get to the heat sinks. Alrighty, so now at the bottom part here, you'll have two screws holding on right here and here and here. And what I did was I just pretty much just marked them on opposite ends on which, goes where. You don't really have to, I think. They're pretty much, yeah, they're interchangeable. But just to make sure, I always mark everything. Once you got those two removed, flip it back over, and I forgot to mention, there's a fan plug right there that you'll need to remove. And this is actually pretty dusty. But yeah, remove that. Set it back down. There's actually a tab, a locking tab right here. That you push back. And this little backing plate should lift right up off in there. You'll have to lift it quite a ways to get away from these other tabs over here. And once you have that done, you should be able to lift it right up off the heat sinks. Looks like these guys are stuck on pretty good. Pretty much this whole chassis is a heat sink. So just want to be very gentle. There we go. Want to lift straight up. And then there you go. There's your processor chips. Let's set this to a side. Actually, these heat sinks are they're pretty decent, really. Well, thermal compound is pretty dried up, but it's not bad. You can see on the, I'm not sure what it is, the processor or whatever, it's not really covered thoroughly. It's missing on the edges, but really all that matters is the center. So that ain't too big of a deal. And what I'm going to use to clean it up is just an old rag. And some rubbing alcohol. 90% is usually better, but whatever you got, really. Hell, even lighter fluid will take this off even better. It dissolves it a lot better. These are some pretty big chips too compared to the 360. That don't always mean better though. And, you know, those are pretty clean. Then you gotta do the other side. Where they mount to. Clean those up real good, and once that's done, I'll get back to you. Alright, so I got both surfaces cleaned, top and bottom. And I went ahead and cleaned the fan a little bit better as well. And just pretty much cleaned up all the dust. And you know, I got some Arctic Silver 5. And we're just gonna, well, Put a big old glob. These are pretty big processors. So I want to put a decent sized glob on here. And also, these things, yeah, wherever they're making contact with these little heat pads, I don't know. Why not put a little bit on them too? Why not, you know? Just put a little dot here. It'll contact a little bit better and just, you know, distribute the heat a little bit better there. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is take some needle nose pliers, and you see these little heat pads here. What I'm going to do is just kind of bend them up. Well, do it with your finger. Just a little bit, not too much. Just to where it hits the motherboard a little bit better and puts a little bit more pressure on it. Keeps those chips down. You know, you don't have to do it too much. Just a little bit. And then you want to get a piece of cardboard or something here. If I can find something. Well, why not use this little memory stick I got laying around? It don't even work, so take that, move it out of our way. Just kind of smear it. See, that wasn't even near enough. Not at all. A business card or a credit card would probably work a lot better. But these these PS3 chips are just abnormally huge. Pretty much takes a whole tube of Arctic silver just to do it all. This probably ain't the best way, but it'll work. Yeah, I'll get back to you once I get all this smeared on. Alright, so I got it, well, pretty much perfectly smeared on these chips. And usually, well, with smaller chips, you just put a big old glob in the middle, and then just set the heatsink on there and it'll smear out by itself. Some people like it that way. Some people will actually smear it out perfectly. It's whatever you prefer. It's going to get smeared out either way and be perfect all the way around. At least with this way, you know it's going to be perfect and evenly around the chip. So it's just, it gives you that much more confidence, I guess, that you know it's going to work. And then pretty much you just set the motherboard down right on top of it. Try not to bend it anyway, or force it. There we go. Now it's set on there. This is, cheap metal. It bends really easily. Just kind of bend it back where, you think it's supposed to be. And like I said before, watch out for these little prongs. Those are for your touch controls, your eject and power button. You don't want to mess those up. So now we're ready for this piece here. And I got this little dust thing I usually use to get all the dust off everything. Remember, we had to put it in this way first. Put it in these little notches, and then push it down and lock it in this clip, which it doesn't want to lock in. So push it up, push this little clip in a little bit, and that one out, and it'll snap right back in place. And then we got these guys here. Goes there. And what I usually like to do with these, especially with the 360s, over a long period of time, they're actually bent to where when you put screws in, it'll hold this and push it down and hold it up against the motherboard really tight. What I usually do, I just take it and bend it just a little bit more to where it has a little bit more curve to it. This way when you put your screws in, it'll hold that motherboard in just a little bit more tighter than what it was. And go ahead and put your screws in. And then just reassemble in reverse order. Alright, well, I just got it all put back together finally. Let's see what happens. And we got the green light. I don't have a CD in, but yeah. And the fans back here, seems like they're blowing pretty good air. So yeah, I think we fixed her.